Hey everybody, how we doing? Sorry for the long hiatus here. My other camera, which was probably 10 years old or so, broke on me. So using this one, a new one I got off Amazon, got a tripod and everything. So I got some safety glasses on. Joey, get off my ass. So what we're gonna do today, I made a herb chopper out of an old farrier's rasp, and it turned out really well, and now we got a bunch of friends that want them. So I figured for this video, I'll take you through the process, at least the process I go through, and we will just go from there, see what we end up making. I've got it heating up now, we're about the temperature, so I'll check periodically the camera since it's new. I want to make sure I'm getting everything, so we will get started. We will be working with some high carbon steel. These Farrier's rasps are very high carbon, very tough stuff. So you kind of have to treat it with kid gloves when you're heating it. You don't want to heat it too hot because it will burn up a lot faster than normal mild steel. So we'll get started. Alright, got a decent heat on here. The first thing I'm going to do is grab a couple inches here. This is not a very thick one. I'm just going to grab a couple inches so I can do the handle. These things have a tendency to want to roll on you, so it's just a constant battle of punching it down and straightening it back out. I do like to keep the file marks in there, this way people can know that, hey, yeah, this started out as a big old file. That's kind of cool. People like that. Alright, kind of see where we're at. I think you can see that. Just got a little bit, I could probably get a little bit hotter next time, so we'll do that. Pop it back in. It is a very warm day here in central Indiana. I think it's in the 80s. That's pretty good for being the end of April, almost May. So I've been kind of taking it easy, making sure I've got lots of water, just doing a couple hours at a time since until I'm more acclimated. Come here, Judy. Come here. Come here. You scared? I got a mastiff. She's afraid of the camera, apparently. Maybe one of these days we'll get her in the video. All right, got better heat on here now. A lot of this is personal preference on how long you want these handles. So you just kind of have to play with it. See what you like, see what people you're giving to or selling them to like. So the other thing with these high carbon steels that I've learned and I've read is you don't want to work them too cold. Once you get past the glow and you go into that black heat, you can kind of see with the sunlight, it's kind of hard to see with the heat, but you don't want to work them too hard because then you can start putting stress fractures in there, and that's certainly not what you want when you're making a tool that is going to be a chopper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cool off one of these ends because it's starting to get a little warm. One of the things you need to get good at, and I'm still practicing obviously, is heat control and focusing where that heat is. It's always easier, I think, to work without the need of tongs. It's one of those skills that you practice. Obviously, I've got 4 sets now. 3 of them I made myself. And again, it's one of those things where you're going to be doing a project, and inevitably you'll need a special pair of tongs to kind of take a break and I'm going to make another set of tongs. Here we go. So I've gotten to the point where I can bust them out in about 2 hours. I know there's some guys, Joey, Chandler, Dickinson, man, those guys can crank that stuff out like it's nothing. So maybe one day I'll get there. So I enjoy it. Once we get this starting to get defined, it goes a little bit quicker now. Draw it out over the edge of the anvil here. Clean it up. Under that black heat, I'll just clean it up a little bit. A little twisted there, not too bad. Alright, so you can kind of see where we're at. We'll draw it out a bit more to a nice little taper. Thin it out just a little bit because we want it all to kind of keep that uniform thickness. On we go. Make sure we're still recording here. Yep. Looks good. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If you want to hear me. If not, just turn the volume off. I got some water here. I won't be offended if you turn the volume off and say, tell that guy to shut up. Shut up and swing the hammer. It's alright. Alright. A little wonky here. We'll just do some light blows to clean her up here. As it gets a little thinner, you really have to start controlling where your hammer falls. It will get a little trapezoidal on you. You're not perfectly accurate, of course, which I am not. All right, not too bad. Just a little bit more length. So I think next heat I'll taper this and then I'll start to draw back. I think that'll be it. That's just a little thinner there, I think. We'll see. Each piece kind of is unique in what the steel decides she wants to do. Sometimes she wants to play nice. Sometimes she's got a mind of its own. I suppose a good smith can bend the steel to his will, but tell you what, sometimes it just does not want to cooperate. In case y'all were curious, here's a set of tongs I started on, little flat nibbers. I had to redo that. I'm not very good at rivets. All right, I've read some things and I think I know kind of what my problem is, so I'll redo that probably later tonight if I get this bad boy down. Alright, let's go ahead and taper her down here without hitting my anvil. Nice. I think we'll go a little thinner. I want a little bit more length. This thing's going to be, I don't know, about 3 inches or so. So we'll do just a little bit more length because I'm going to come up and curve back around. I want to give it a nice little curve. A nice sexy curve on there. Sure we're still going? Sure are. All right. Yeah, these little choppers, I saw Chandler Dickinson do one. Anvil Ringer, as he goes by now, I suppose. Really liked it. Thought it was really cool, a useful thing, and a good kind of beginner blacksmithing project. So I tried one last couple weeks ago, and my mom really likes it. Hot slag in the face. That felt great. This is about a 3.5 pounder, maybe a little bit more. So when working these kind of delicate areas here, you really have to kind of choke up on her. I'm going to heat that up. I've got some weird scale going in here. Really tough stuff. Not quite sure what that is. Heat her back up one more time and see if we can scrub her down there. Kind of weird. So I don't have any video editing software, so all these videos are just raw, uncut, unfiltered. So that slag hit me in the face. Awfully surprised. Didn't get any swear words coming out. Let's give her a good scrape here. Good. There we go. Spin that down just a smidge, I think. A little bit more length out of there. Place to put it down. And round this off a little bit. Again, when you're working stuff this small, just choke up on the hammer. Much more wrist motion. Something that comes with practice, really. You could see, I don't know if you could see, but earlier I was getting a little bit too heavy with my hammer strokes and it was distorting on me. So. Still got scale. That'll come off when I do a little wire brush, but alright, so there's our handle. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'll heat, like I said, about 3 inches or so. Or I'll drop it. That's always good. Drop for dramatic effect. And we'll do a cut. Hot cut here. Get her on the fire. Let's cool off one end here real quick. Alright. Can't see the sweat on my face. It's hot. Woo! It's my cuts, I always just use this old guy. If I nick him or whatever, I don't really care. I don't use my good hammers when cutting. One thing I want to show you while that's heating up, I've been practicing some small axes, tomahawks, hatchets, whatever you want to call them. And this little guy, I did the handle. It's just a cheap dowel just to practice. So nothing fancy, but I was just kind of practicing the curves in there. I like this little finger well design. For me, it just, for some reason, it fits really good. If I want to come up here to shave or back here, it just gives me something to kind of grip, I guess. I don't like them round, so it is flat on the ends. And then this guy is actually 3 different pieces of metal. We've got a railroad spike, a high carbon railroad spike for the body, a cutting edge. It was actually this file, a piece of this file. Make sure I'm not burning. And then this back, the eye that I made on the tomahawk sucked, as you can see. So I nipped it off, and I took some mild steel, wrapped it around, and forge welded it together. Turned out pretty darn good. So I've brought it through the ringer. Nothing's cracked other than the cheap dowel. So yeah, pretty proud of this one. Pretty happy with it. So just thought I'd show everybody that, you know, beginner like me, I've only been doing it for like 6 months, 7 months, something like that. You know, just look up, do your research, and man, it's a lot of fun. All right, let's nip this bad boy off here. We'll do that right there. That's a little hot. Let's grab some tongs. I don't burn my damn hand. Son of a bitch, that's hot. Fire she goes. Got a bit hot. Bit hot. So yeah. It's hot. In case I hadn't mentioned it before. Really hot. Hopefully, I don't know if you can hear the music, but hopefully YouTube doesn't flag. I guess they got some software that tells you can't do music that's not licensed. I don't know. Maybe I'll just start playing my old band music. A lot of swear words. Alright. Over, come on, you bastard. Fair enough, I think we may have. There we go. That's how they say you're supposed to. I'll separate them out so you don't, you know, mess up your tools, your hot cut, and your hammers. Another homemade one made out of an old piece of chisel. Alright, let's pull this butt end down here so that we might be able to hold on to it while we hammer. I don't know if we'll be able to. Alright. Straighten out a bit here. Okay, so what we'll do here is we'll heat her up. We'll knock down a lot of these teeth here, especially on the edge where our blade is going to be. And then see here, we'll knock these down, try to compress them in. That way we don't have these little ridges as we grind our blade there. And then we'll be going. We probably will need to use some tongs on this one, but That's okay. Fire's stoked up. Might as well get them ready. That's hot. That's damn hot. "20 minutes, we're already to this part." That's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. 20 minutes, I'm already swimming. Woo! I need to get like a thermometer in here. See how hot it is in here. It's like any service member out there knows it's Iraq hot. Kuwait hot. Dumb hot. So hot you gotta be dumb to stand in here. A little bit of crazy. Yeah, that'd be kind of funny if you do see this, which I don't know how many people watch these things, and you are in the service, and you did, and you did deploy. I want to hear your story about what was the hottest place and time while you were over there. I know mine. Mine was Kuwaiti Naval Base, working customs, and I don't know, I think it was like August, and it was about 132, 80% relative humidity because the wind shift comes that time of year, and all that Persian Gulf humidity blows in at you. Oh my God. It was like working, you worked like 10 minutes on and 20 minutes off. That's just stupid hot. Alright, so we'll just kind of clean this up a little bit, knock some of these high edges down, flip her over. It's not really high ones on this side, but just hitting her with the flat part of the rounding hammer here. If I can get her here. Kind of knocking. Dropped it for dramatic effect again. Like always. We're not trying to upset it at all or anything like that. We're just trying to knock down those edges, so that when we forge out our blade, cutting edge, we'll have a nice clean surface. Okay, so what we'll do now is pretty much just heat up this front end, and we'll start tapering it down both sides. We want it to be even. Don't really have to touch the back at all, other than after when we start grinding her. So I'm going to put this in this way down so I can focus that heat, grab it on the back end, and I'll just start forcing it down like this, flip her over, forcing it down like that, try to get a nice little curve in there, and that'll pretty much be it. Once we get that shape, then we'll take it to the grinder. I don't know if you want to see that, probably make it a second video. Sounds good? Cool. And we are still going. Hopefully you can like see me when I'm talking to you and stuff. I don't know, I assume so. Trial and error, folks, trial and error. Yeah, 130 something, 80% relative. We had guys coming back from Iraq in the drawdown and clearing their vehicles or cleaning their vehicles and stuff, and man, those poor bastards were dropping like flies. It was bad. Alright, so we just kind of got the heat here. We'll start slowly working her at an angle. Flip her on over. Same dealio. Hit the anvil. Always a good idea. Not really. Straighten her up a little bit here. You know, it will get an organic kind of curve. I like that. I mean, unless it's banana shaped, but kind of like that nice little swoop. And you can do something like a little finger hold on the other side. You know, a lot you can do with it, but again, find your own particular style and what you like. Make it work for you. You know, it's like none of us have fully original ideas, I guess. I mean, God, you gotta imagine at some point in history, everything's been forged. So, find a style that you like, add a little twist to it or something. Nothing really copyrighted in blacksmithing, I suppose. We all steal each other's ideas. Nobody steals mine. Whew. What else can we talk about, folks? I do belong to a bunch of Facebook pages: Indiana Blacksmithers Association, Blacksmithing for Beginners, the Blacksmithing for Beginners comedy page, which is pretty funny, or humor, I think it's called, Blacksmith Humor, something like that. So you can find me on there if you so choose. Tell me to bugger off if you want. You chaps over in England or Australia. So you don't have to get it perfect on this. Just close enough so you can take her to the grinder and grind the piss out of her to get your shape. But you do want to get as close as possible. So I got a little wave in there. Next heat I'll take that out. Actually, what you can do as you go, take the flat, knock down any high spots that he created. Kind of keep it evened up, planish her a bit. Take out some of those hammer marks. See how cool that looks? It almost looks like dragon scales, you know? That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. There's about one person on this world that'll get that reference. Alright, I think one more heat, I think, will get me the shape I want. I want it a little thinner, I think. Because again, don't want to take off these scales when I'm cleaning her up. So I want to try to get it as close to where I want her as possible. Get it in the damn fire. Woo! It's like Vulcan's butthole in here. Or Hephaestus. Greek, Roman, whatever. Wow. I know I talk about the weather too much. It's fine. My damn video, I'll talk about what I want to talk about. Pick these things up, really? Alright. So I think, yeah, this will be our last heat. More than likely, I'm going to do a rough filing. Yeah. Alright, so this will be our last heat for this. So then what I'll do is I'll do a rough grinding video. And then I'll do the video where I show you how I'll turn the handle. And get that one going. Take out some of these hammer marks. Add it up a little bit. Alright. So, as you can see, hopefully that's a good shot. A nice little curve there. We'll clean up the grinder. I kind of like that little indent there. It's a kind of a good, you'll see it's a good finger weld or finger hold. We'll grind it up. That'll be this next video. Then we'll come back, we'll come up and around, just kind of give it a curly cue. And we'll go from there. See you on the next video.